You thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch. Nigga either he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body, I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch. Nigga either he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body, I get what I want. Like, bitch stay mad, let's keep it a beam. Know they be mad, I be on the scene. Ass too fat, can't fit in a jean. Use my stitch, but it's not what it seems.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Someone Had to Say It podcast. My name is Katlaho Dingake.
And I am Rifile Dingake, and we are your hosts. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button because I guarantee that you'll love what you hear.
And if you've been around before, we're happy that you're back for more. Hi,
What's
Riffs.
happening?
What's happening? Brand new whips. What?
What?
What's popping?
Whoa!
My bad.
Yo.
It's really what's popping.
Yo. What's happening? Brand new.
That deserves
whip. Yeah, come here.
Anisha. That's fine because I gave into that.
A great way to start the episode, actually.
Yeah. Why?
No, it's just funny.
Okay.
I was trying to think of a segue, but there's no segue.
We're still working on it.
I was going to say, talking about what's happening.
And then you're like, no,
Yeah.
it's not
It
working.
wasn't really going to work out.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. And yeah, we wanted to say, by the way, our consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's not talk on that.
I don't want to be one of those, you know?
Yeah. And we're becoming one of those the more we talk about it. But
Yeah.
honestly, just trust us when we say that we are doing our best with our new schedules. Like, yeah. We're doing our best. We want to create the content. We love creating the content. We love it when we have these conversations and getting to like share it with you guys. So please just be patient with us. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, do you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
Today, we will be having a highly requested video.
Yeah.
Actually. Well, not video, sorry.
Yes,
Episode.
audio again.
We will be talking about navigating platonic relationships, especially in your 20s, when you're an adult or trying to
Like
navigate
out of school,
adulthood,
especially.
yeah. Outside of any organized spaces where you kind of get forced into making friends.
Let's talk about that.
No, I actually, like, as I was thinking about this topic, something like a very fond memory really, like, came to the surface. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I'll never get that again. Like, I'll never be there again.
Yeah.
And it actually kind of broke my heart.
Although I will say, I think as someone like for you, you're working now, so you still have that organized space in terms of in your workplace. Even though there's that narrative of like your colleagues, but I think you're bound to make like a friend or two. But in terms of the organized space thing, I really felt that because as we talk more about this topic, I feel like having an organized space within my friendships is what helped me sustain them better or to be more present in them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, not just meeting people, but just the friendships that existed. It was so much easier to maintain. And when you get into a space where you're no longer in the same space and you're forced or you have to be more intentional about meeting up, about making conversation, checking in on each other, you realize it's not as easy, you know?
It really isn't. It
Yeah.
really isn't. Yeah, it's actually crazy. The memory that I was saying that like came to the surface as I was thinking of this podcast episode and the whole thing around organized spaces. I'm just thinking, right, in high school, when we'd go on like camps or something like that, and then you come back, I don't know if you've had this experience. This happened to me quite often. You go on a camp, and obviously you have your normal group of friends that you're always with, or a normal few people that you're always with. And then you come you go on camp and they put you in a group and you're with people that maybe you don't usually hang out with, but then you come back from camp and you're boys with this random person from a completely different friend group, but like you get along.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, in particular, I'm thinking of this like one person where we went on camp. Literally, when I say, when not even like they were cliques or anything, but we were kind of worlds apart in terms of how we hung out in high school. But we went on that camp, we bonded, and although of course when we got to school, it's not like I'd always hang out with her all of a sudden, but like we had a friendship, and it would be like, oh, like no, like that's my boy, low key, that's my boy. But I don't know, there's just this bond, and I'm like, damn.
Okay.
That was a nice
I wouldn't say I had that experience after camp, but I get what you're talking about. And even though you're saying not cliques per se, there were definitely cliques in high school. Not in a mean girl way, but in a people have a group of people that they hang out with on a consistent basis. So I get that. Like when you realize that you actually click with someone that's not within the group you're used to.
Yeah.
It's a nice discovery.
And that's very hard to get in the real world. Like, that's not going to happen in your day-to-day.
Yeah. And not that it's impossible, though. This made me think about last year when you told me how at some point you started becoming more intentional about just talking to strangers and greeting strangers. And you're telling me how at your res you would like even just in the elevator you'd say hi to people. And it got to a point where they weren't strangers anymore. They weren't your friends, but they were comfortable enough to say hi back.
Yeah.
Or make small talk or whatever. And I feel like that's the hardest part, is just starting that conversation or that habit of greeting people, because we tend to be in our own worlds, and when we're not surrounded by people that we're comfortable with, you feel like people aren't really approachable, unless it's someone who's really extroverted and talks to anybody and everybody. There are people who are genuinely comfortable doing that. But for me, I feel like I'm very to myself when I don't know people. I'm in my own world, and I'm not usually the first to approach you and make conversation. So it's always pleasant when I am in a space where I'm able to talk to a stranger, or a stranger approaches me. And then it's like, we actually get along. Like, you're a nice person. And it's like, how am I going to meet people if I don't take that initiative in the first place,
I think there's so many layers to this conversation. So like how we're talking about the whole like that initial interaction, like that maybe small talk. And then we can also talk about how do you advance that beyond just the small talk and actually make it into a fully fledged friendship, because that's a whole other thing. Like knowing people and being friendly and chatting with them is whole different to like making friendships. And actually in the book that I was reading earlier this year, I'm looking at it right now, I forgot what it's called, bar for bar, but it's something about your 20s. The title has something in your 20s on it, and it talks about, obviously we know the importance of friendship. We know that as humans we're social beings, and friendships are very important for our overall well-being, but also the importance of like the book calls it weak ties, which is what I was doing last year, where it's the random people you chat to in the elevator, even if you're not going to tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. It kind of makes you feel more grounded and connected to a place if you feel comfortable enough to talk to, someone there, and you begin to know more people around. Another example is where I work. She was there when I went for the interview, so we kind of built it from there. But there's this lady who, she's part of the ground staff. So every morning when I arrive at work, she's maybe doing the bushes or something like that. And I greet her every morning. We'll have something, the smallest talk about the weather, that kind of thing. And then I get into the office. And then now, like, obviously it's not like, oh, we're about to have a fully fledged friendship. But it will be things like, oh, this morning I noticed she got her hair done. I'm like, wow, your hair looks so nice. We have a little chat about that. And it just makes you feel more like grounded.
I want
in
to
a
say
place.
present, but I don't know if present is the right word. But I get what you mean.
It helps
like,
with the belongingness,
familiarity,
like you
yeah.
walk in and you know this person and you chat and then you
You
get
feel
into
more
office.
integrated
into
the space. Yeah.
It helps with your integration and feeling like
You belong.
So that's the weak ties aspect. But I think what we want to talk more about is
Existing friendships.
Yeah, and fully fledged
friendships.
not necessarily
Okay.
weak ties, which
I
is
agree.
a whole other
We can dive
conversation.
into other things in other episodes. But with that being said, what kind of friend would you say you are in your existing fully fledged friendships?
I think because I have so many friends in different places and different degrees of friendship, I think I'm a different kind of friend too.
Each one of them.
Yeah, maybe not each one of them, but like it's definitely not the same dynamic across the board, even though maybe I consider all of them friends. Not just acquaintances, not just good time. Like there's maybe a handful of people that I can say, no, these are my friends. Even then, I think our relationships are different. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of friend I am, and some of them I'm a I don't know.
I would say, not necessarily how when I say what kind of friend, I'm not saying how you act around them or like how they describe you, but just maybe in terms of how hands-on are you? How present are you in your friendships, whether you're within the same space or far away from each other?
Okay. I mean, it's no secret, I'm not a very, I'm quite a
Hands-off.
hands-off type of gal. Sorry.
Yeah. Triggered.
Don't say
Triggered. Yo.
No, but I'm like that across the board, not just with my friendships. I think just generally, I'm independent, y'all.
I'd just like to explain why I'm triggered.
Miss Independent. That's me.
You're a singer these days, huh? You're just singing every episode.
Do I?
Yeah. The last episode you sang.
I was singing?
Yeah.
What song did I sing?
What did you sing again? Oh, I forgot. But
Whoa.
we'll check the edit because I shared it
I'm a
in the reel
consistent queen
as well.
too.
And I had to caption it like singing.
Oh my god.
Oh, clarity is clear to see.
Clarity is clear to see.
But yeah, I was trying to explain why I'm triggered. One thing about my sisters and I, the one thing we shout at Fifi about is how detached she can be. And we feel it more when we're far away from her, where we feel like she's just not checking on us. She's just not responsive.
Whoa, okay. Wait, I have to stop you in your tracks because I didn't think
It's the
this
truth.
was the roast of...
It's the truth.
of
It's
Fifi.
not the roast of Fifi, but I am calling it out. What's good?
No.
What's
Okay.
good?
Anyway, we were saying...
Anyways, yes.
I was saying that I think generally, and it's gotten better lately, but I think generally I tend to be a little more detached. Some people would say it's hyper independence. Some people would say it's just independence. I'm that person.
I feel like it's
but-
definitely a euphemism, though.
But
Anyways.
anyway, so that also seeps into my relationships, and it also seeps into my platonic relationships too. So I think my friends generally can tell you that maybe I'm, I guess, the low maintenance friend. We don't necessarily have to talk every day. I'm not necessarily going to tell you every single detail that happened in my life. However, I'm always there to listen. If you text me, I'll hit you back. It's not like a thing of, oh, there's beef. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how I tend to be. Yeah. There's definitely, it works for me. maybe sometimes I overdid it a bit, you know, but I definitely think just generally I'm someone who I'm not like that. You know what I mean? But maybe I don't want to go so far in the other direction where I'm not true to myself and I feel like, oh, I'm doing this because everyone complains about my behavior. I'd rather want to be myself without, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still figuring it out. Okay.
For side note, I was gonna say, back to roasting you. I gave you a bombastic side eye when you were like, "You hit me up, I'll respond."
Whatever.
Because I stay begging you to respond. But anyways.
Okay, but also you can't text me at work and then expect me to respond in 2 seconds.
Anyway. Okay, but I'm not just talking about work.
Okay. Anyway.
In terms of the kind of friend I think I am, I would also say I'm a low maintenance friend. However, low maintenance in the sense of, like, when we're apart, we may not talk even for months. I won't lie, we may not talk for months. I'm kind of like the friend where we catch up in bulk. You know what I mean? We catch up about the last 6 months of our life, maybe even the last year of our lives, which sometimes I feel like I'm too comfortable with that. Sometimes I wish I could be more present in my friends' lives, where it's like my long distance friends. I find that I'm much more present and active in my friends' lives when I'm within their space. And I think it's something that I noticed the change when I got out of varsity, that, okay, you actually have to put in a lot more effort to maintain these friendships. But I think I'm still finding my feet. And in finding my feet, I've kind of gotten comfortable with, like, not doing too much. And then there's that thing where I'm like, I may be comfortable with it, but how do my friends feel about it? You know what I mean? Like, do they feel like they wish I could show up more? Do they feel like they wish I could check on them more? Because sometimes some of my friends will check on me, like, not the long distance friends where it's like every 6 months or whatever, but like the ones who are closer to me, the ones that are in SA. Maybe they'll check on me after a month or something just to be like, hey friend, how you doing? And I always like feel a little bad when like they're the first people to reach out, because I'm also like, oh damn, I'm so comfortable going about my day-to-day life. Why didn't I think to check on them, you know? And maybe it won't even be the first time that they've checked on me, but where I notice a pattern of they're always the ones initiating the conversation with me. And that's when I'm like, okay, maybe I need to be more aware of like where they need me to show up. And I guess I have to have that conversation with them. But yeah, I'm the low maintenance friend in terms of we don't have to talk every day and stuff, but when we do talk or when we do see each other, the love is still there, nothing has changed. But I think that can be a flaw as well on my part, because like I said, I won't know about the lows of their lives. I'll hear about them after the fact, and I won't be there to support them the way they may need me to support them.
Question, right? So, as you were saying, like, maybe you won't know about the lows in your friend's life, and you're not there to like support them through it. Let me say, like, from like on my side of the coin, or maybe you can even answer this, when you've been going through lows and your friends, whether long distance or whatever, haven't checked on you in like the month. So it's not necessarily that they know you're going through a hard time and they're not hitting you up. No, it's just you guys haven't talked in a while. So going through lows, do you in that moment, are you like, damn, my friends aren't even checking up on me?
No.
So
I know, why am I thinking about it like that on their part? I get that, I really do. But also, I'm the type of person who I tend to prefer to go through things alone. Like, if it's really bad, I'll talk to you guys as my sisters, you know. But my friends tend to find out after the fact, regardless of if I'm talking to you every day or every few months. I tend to, like, not overshare that kind of information. Not that they're not a safe space for me. It's just the way that I cope with my low seasons. But like you said, I also often think about, in the same breath, when I think about how, what if they feel that I'm not present enough in those times, I also think about, but they don't even check on me like that. Like, it's a bit of a hard one. There are the handful that do check on me, but the ones who don't check on me and I don't check on them, when I think about how I don't check on them and I make myself feel bad about it, I'm also very quick to be like, oh, but they also don't check on me. So, like, are they thinking the same way? But I don't know if that's a healthy way of thinking about things,
No,
because
I
it's kind
think
of tit for tat, isn't it?
it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. I just think it becomes an issue when I'm just thinking unrequited love. When you're like giving and maybe you're always checking up and they never do. You know, like when it's like, for example, when I was saying the whole thing of like when you're going through a low time, are you like, damn, my friends don't check up on me? Like, if it was a thing of they hit you up, they know you're going through a hard time, and they still don't make the effort.
Yeah, that would be different.
Yeah, that would be different from just completely
like not knowing.
not knowing.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why for me, I don't feel like, oh, they're not checking on me, because I know they don't know, because I haven't communicated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't hold them like in any lower regard because of that, because they really don't know. And that's because I've chosen not to share that information. But in general, I just want to be more present in, like, more intentional in my friendships. I feel like I tend to be very intentional in romantic connections, and I'd like to apply that more to my friendships.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
why I
it
said it in
about?
passing.
Like, what is? I don't want to get into
Because
it.
we can't get into it right now, but that can
But
definitely
what
be
is it
another
about romantic
discussion.
relationships.
I feel like maybe it's because in romantic connections, you tend to see the person more often. You chill with them on different
But
levels.
why?
I don't know. It's not justified. It's definitely not justified. And that's why a lot of people tend to say romanticize your friendships the same way that you do your relationship, you know? Show up the same way. Give the same love, the same effort. But I don't know why it's more effortless in romantic relationships. Maybe because of that word
The
romance.
attraction, I think.
Not just the attraction, but romance. People have kind of like placed romance to be specific to romantic relationships, but romance can exist in your platonic relationships.
Okay.
You can get your friends flowers. Why
Whole
not?
entire
If they love flowers.
conversation, different
Yeah, that's why
convo-
I'm like, okay, we'll get back to that on
Yeah,
another
maybe
episode.
part 2.
Yeah. But yeah, that's me where I'm like, I think I need to sit down with my friends a bit more, or just have that conversation, or make that effort for the friends that, especially for my friends who do check on me, because now I feel like I'm the friend that, like you said, you're like, oh, I'm forever giving, and I'm not really getting much back. You know what I mean? I don't want to be...
Like, as in, you think
I feel like
some
maybe
of your
they
friends
feel that way.
Okay.
Not even a lot, but like a handful. The ones who I said, I tend to notice that they're always the first ones initiating conversation, you know. Yeah, not that I'm not there for them in their low seasons, because same way that they're not aware of my low seasons, I'm not aware of theirs. So it's not a thing where I know you're going through it and I'm not checking on you, but just the effort of checking on you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think, unless we do like an advice episode, it's not like we are here to, you know, be like, okay, we've got it all figured out and let's tell you how to be a great friend. Like, we're still also just
Yeah,
trying
we're
to
still
navigate
figuring it out.
Yeah, but it's a lot.
But can I say, like, also with that being said, you know how people talk about what you, like, the habits you assume, what you give yourself is what you receive, not just in romantic relationships. Like, you know how with romantic relationships, they'll be like, oh, buy yourself flowers, do the things that you'd want your partner to do, because when they find you in that space, they'll know how to treat you, kind of thing. I feel like the same should apply to friendships, because as much as I am the low maintenance friend, I tend to have certain expectations of my friends that they may be not aware of, and they may be worsened because I'm the air quotes low maintenance friend, where I feel like I wish they would show up a bit more, you know, especially special occasions. Especially special occasions. And like right now, the main special occasion, I guess, would be like birthdays.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, even if we're far apart, just a text from you means so much to me. Because for me, I like I saved my friends' birthdays, so if I forget it, it's literally once in a blue moon. But I save them in my calendar, and I'm always reminded so that if I forget in my head, my phone reminds me, and I can know to text you. You know, those things mean a lot to me. So when I feel like when I see some of my friends forget my birthday, sorry, I am that person who gets a bit touched.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I get a bit touched because I'm like, it's one day in the year where people get to celebrate you and for you to be someone who's so close to me and not even remember. Like, you don't have to remember, bro. You can just put it in your phone, like minimal effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I tend to question, like, and that's something very small and it translates to bigger things like this year. I tend to make plans with my friends individually. Even friends where it was a friendship group when we studied in Cape Town. The ones that are in Joburg, we tend to make plans individually. Once in a while, it'll be a group thing, like a birthday dinner or something for someone. So it also, yeah, it's that thing where I try to do a thing of making plans as a group so that we're like, okay, guys, you know, next month let's go to the farmers market, or like let's do this in advance because I know my friends work now, you know, like
Yeah.
things are different. And I just feel like the sense of urgency, even though I'm someone who doesn't even ask to see you every weekend or whatever, I felt like the sense of urgency was just so little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you and your friends are really good at being intentional, and I aspire to that.
Thank
with my
you.
friends.
Thank you on behalf of me and my friends.
Yeah.
And we do definitely try. I think quite a few elements play into that. Not only is there nothing to do in this city, so we have to make like
Get
plans.
creative.
Yeah, and I think generally also my friends are similar to me in that we can't do crew every single week. You know what I mean? Like we do want to switch it up, and I appreciate that in them because that's the kind of thing I also crave. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, but I think also at some point I have to be real with myself in acknowledging certain friendships I've outgrown. Maybe it's the distance, maybe it's the lack of effort, not even like where it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but where it just feels like, oh, so we only got along because we were near, like we were in the same space.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be bad vibes, like a friendship breakup, or a friendship breakup isn't always a friendship breakup. I feel like sometimes you just grow apart. And that's not a breakup because, like, there was no conflict, there was no conversation to say this is ending. It kind of just faded out, you know,
But then
fizzled out.
are they not your friend at that point?
They're an old friend.
Hectic.
I don't know if you played The Sims. There were levels to this stuff. So, like, in The Sims, when you meet someone, they're an acquaintance, and then you upgrade to friend, and then good friend, then best friend. And then, obviously, if it becomes romantic, it becomes romantic interest. Then, if you ask them to be your partner, it's girlfriend, then it's wife, kind of thing. And then, if you had a friend or a best friend or a good friend that you haven't been interacting with much, they become an old friend. So it's like you still have the bond, you'll still talk to each other, good vibes, everything, but you're just not in touch with each other's lives that way anymore.
Yeah.
And so you're an old friend. You're not a stranger. You're
Yeah.
not just an acquaintance, because we once had more than that. But we were just, you're an old friend.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
I think that's when you grow apart, not when you break up. When you break up because of something, like, that's a clear, like, you're not friend. That's
Yeah.
like ex-friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just trying to reflect on my friends, and I don't know if this is bad or not, but I'm literally thinking, how would I categorize everyone?
Yeah.
But not even in a that one's better than that one, not like
Yeah.
that. I'm just really
like
just
how
looking
close are you?
at our dynamic and how it works for us, and it does. I think I'm pretty happy in terms of the friendship dynamic I have going on. I don't do well with having too many friends because that's when I really kind of not shut off, but I'm already someone who doesn't give that much
Attention.
not a
I wasn't throwing shade. I just thought that was the word.
Not attention. That's not the word. That's not the word I was gonna say.
My bad.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I already am not so out. Like, I don't give much away in terms of what's going on in my life, and I'm not like that. So the more friends I have, and if people are like, oh, your friends are the people that you're supposed to tell everything. If I have so many, I'm not going to tell nobody nothing, because it's like, you're telling me I have to tell all of these people in order for them to feel like a friend.
Yeah.
In order for them to feel close, I need to tell everyone my deepest, darkest secret. No, I'm not going to do that.
I get that.
So I think I have, like, a couple, one or two, that I'm happy to, like,
tell everything,
fully be vulnerable, and obviously vulnerability builds connection. I'm happy to at least just have at least two that I'm vulnerable with, or whatever, 4, 3, whatever, and then the rest I am 100%. Is this controversial? I'm 100% not telling you nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe not nothing, but, like, I'm not gonna hit you up and be like,
and cry
yo.
on the phone, or like,
I don't know. I'm just not the type of person to do that.
In terms of me saying that I feel like I need to be the change that I want to see in my friendships, there's a very particular friendship that made me realize that I appreciate intention in my friendships as well. And it's someone who's like a new friend. I think we've been friends for 2 years now. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, so
go ahead, shout him out.
Shout out to Melo. I love you, girl. Meeting her, we instantly connected. But I've said before, I'm someone who, especially in a social setting where we've been having a few drinks, I can talk to anyone and really get along with people. Like, it's the complete opposite of my sober self, who doesn't talk to people. But we didn't just click. Like, the connection went beyond that. And just my interactions with her, we've been very intentional about checking in on each other. We can run to each other about, like, problems that we're facing. It's just everything that I realize I want more of in my long existing friendships, and I think having her enter my life and be that person for me, and me hopefully being that person for her, made me realize that I'd actually like to cultivate that in my other friendships. So I feel like before I experienced it wholeheartedly with her, I was comfortable being complacent and being like, these are how my friendships are, it is what it is. But sometimes you don't know what you need until you receive it, know? So I think that friendship is the one that made me realize that I need more from my established relationships.
Love that.
And it's okay to need more, guys. Just ask for it.
Yeah.
Note to self.
Note to self.
Just ask for it.
Just ask. Communicate it.
Yeah.
And if you are communicating and nothing's happening, then
it's not for you, babes.
Your part, babe.
It's not for you. They can't say you didn't try.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that one, because I can relate to that.
Yeah, no.
I can relate to that in a friendship sense. I've had to let go of people because we've talked and there's been no change. And it's only after you leave that they realize that, damn, she stopped trying.
Yeah. Only know
when it's too late, when you've tried 10 times and they don't appreciate it, and then you leave, and then suddenly it's like, now you're here, trying to make plans, trying to be intentional. Babes, I have no hate.
Go ahead, shout them out.
No,
sorry.
It's just that thing where it's like, you end up, as someone who tries, when you do try, you end up in a place where you're just like, okay, I've tried and it is what it is. And you're like, you walk away peacefully knowing that you've tried. No hate, no nothing, just acceptance. Yeah. But I guess in terms of the other dimensions we could talk about in next episodes, could be like establishing new friendships.
Yeah.
We could dive a bit more into relationships that come to an end, friendships that come to an end.
Yeah, friendship breakups.
Yeah, friendship breakups or just growing apart and how you navigate that. And yeah, you guys can let us know what you'd like to hear more of in terms of from relating to this topic.
Yeah, we'll probably do a poll or something on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Something cute, something interactive.
Yeah.
To find out what you guys are thinking and your thoughts on this topic. So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
If you guys have any questions, comments, want to tell us about your experiences with your established friendships and stuff, please pop us a DM. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Or pop us an email.
shtsipod@gmail.com. And then we're on Instagram at someonehadtosayit.com. That's DOTCOM. And on TikTok as well, same handle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same handle, different door.
Platform. Oh no.
Because
that was whack.
Yeah, it was. I was trying.
That was kind of that was kind of a joke I'd make, but like
yeah, it is kind of a your joke. That's why it didn't land.
Wow. Okay. There's been enough shade in this episode too, so we love you guys for listening.
Me and Katie have to have a conversation after this, so please excuse us. That's how you know this is a sister's
podcast. Like oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We love you for listening.
Yeah.
And we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Keeping it clean. Fucking with niggas that's toting up beans. Saying you love me, but what do you mean? Pretty ass fucking you like that I mean. Got a spit out, you shitting me? If you ain't a baddie, can't stay with me. I swear that these bitches my mini-me's. He wanna sex, niggas be dreaming. I'm from the X, niggas be scheming. I'm on their necks, they's not breathing. I'm in a check, blow the